Good morning, everyone. My name is Rabbi Lesser, Director of Pastoral Care here at Gurwin Jewish. I hope everyone had a great week this week as we continue our Oneg Shabbat series with the singing of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharis, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharis, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlochim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. This week's Torah portion, Parshas V'Eschanan, we receive the Ten Commandments for a second time. This is a repetition of the commandments which were given on Mount Sinai 40 years prior. As Moshe, Rabbeinu Moses, we mentioned last week, is giving over a speech, a long speech to the Jewish people towards the end of his life before they entered the land of Israel. So he repeats the Ten Commandments. And the question is that why does Moses have to repeat all 10 commandments? He should just reverence the fact everyone remembers. Certainly they remembered Mount Sinai, the revelation on Mount Sinai. Why does he have to repeat again and again everything that was previously said over? But in truth, if you look at the commandments, they're said in a slightly different fashion, specifically the one about Shabbat, about Shabbos. The first time the 10 commandments were given, Moshe Rabbeinu Moses says, Zachor et Yom HaShabbos, you should remember the Shabbos. But now he says you should Shamor as Yom HaShabbos, you should watch the Shabbos. What is the difference between remembering and watching? In general, remembering is done in a more passive way. We sit back, we remember, we think about Shabbos. That was the commandment originally given 40 years prior. But now the commandment changes. The commandment is Shamor, watch it, actively be involved, actively do things to make you remember Shabbos. Because a lot of times we get inspiration, and at the moment we get the inspiration, it's good enough and we're inspired. But after time passes, we lack that inspiration necessary. So we need an addition, and we need to say, it's not good enough just to be passive about keeping Shabbat. You have to be active as well, to teach us that the more active we are in the commandments and keeping the Torah mitzvahs, the better people, the better we will be, and the more sincere our commitment will be as well. Adodi likras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela. Adodi likras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmi Yahanu Kelam Yuchad Hashem Echad Shmo Echad L'Shemu Seferes V'Lisila Lechadodi Kras Kalov Nei Shabbos Nekam V'La Likra Shabbos Uvin Elcha Ki Mekor Haberacha Meirosh Mikedem Nesucha Tov Maaseh B'Machshavot Chila Lecha Dodi Lekras Kala Nei Shabbos Nekavela Mikdash Melech Ir Melucha Kumitzi Mitoch HaFeicha Rav Lo Shevet V'Yimei Huyachamol Alayechem Lo Lecha Dodi Lekras Kala Nei Shabbos Nekabela Hisnari Me'afar Kuni Livshi Big Day Sifarte Chalmi Al Yad Ben Yishai Beis Halachmi Karvo El Nafshi Giyala Lecha Dodi Lekras Kala Nei Shabbos Nekabela Hisoriri Kiva Rekumi Yori 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 Shir Daberi Kod Hashem Alayich Nigla Lecha Dodi Lekras Kala Nei Shabbos Nekabela Lo Se Voshi Lo Si Komi Ma'atish Tochachi Umatemi Bahog Yaksu Niyeyami V'nivnisa Irauti La Lecha Dodi Kras Kala Pnei Shabbos Nekabela Yamin Usmal Tefroti Iyas Hashem Tariti Al Yad Ben Yishai Beis Halachmi Karvo El Nafshi Giyala Lecha Dodi Lekras Kala Nei Shabbos Nekabela Vo'i B'Shalom Teres Bala Gambirina Uvetzahala Tochem Unei Am Sigula Vo'i Kala Lecha Dodi Lekras Kala Nei Shabbos Nekabela. This week in the Jewish calendar, we celebrate Shabbos Nachamu, which means the Shabbat of comfort. This Shabbat is celebrated the week after we mourn the destruction of the temple, as we're comforted by the fact that we know one day God will rebuild the third temple. And the question is that, although it's very nice on paper that we mourn and later we're comforted, but it's such a quick turnaround. Only 5-6 days later to turn around. Some years it's only 1 day later, depending on the day of the week Tisha B'Av falls out. If Tisha B'Av falls out on a Thursday, so 24 hours later on a Friday night, you're celebrating, we're comforted by the rebuilding of the third temple, which hasn't happened yet. It's a very hard concept to understand. But the commentators explain the following way. Even when we're mourning, we're not mourning over destruction which was lost so many years ago alone. We're mourning the fact that we ourselves have not done what we have to do to rebuild the third temple. And when you're mourning, not just looking at the past, but looking at the present, you could say, you know what? Just because I haven't built it so far, doesn't mean I can't build the third temple going forward. Doesn't mean I can't fix right now what needs to be done. So it's not just a standalone comfort saying, well, we mourned the loss and hopefully it'll turn around quickly. The comfort comes from the fact that we know ourselves, we are the ones who could turn things around. We are the ones who can make the world a better place. And when you have that in mind, it doesn't take such a long time to realize that. And as soon as we all realize that we have in our power to do that, it gives us a tremendous comfort and shows God that we want the connection, we want to rebuild the third temple, and God will answer our prayers more speedily. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Yes Nasa B'Chefso Kol Azai Melech Shebo Nikra V'Yacharei Kechlos HaKol Levado Yemloch Nora V'Haya V'Hu Hoveh Uyeh besifara v'hu echad v'yein sheni. Hamshilo lehachbira v'li reishes v'li sachles. Lo ha'oz ha'misra v'hu keli v'chai goali. Torah chavli v'yes nasa v'hu nisi yumanosli. Nazgosi b'yom ha'kra v'yahanda avkidruchi. Eisishon v'yahira v'yimruchi gev'yasi. Doshem li v'lo v'ira. Everyone a happy and healthy Shabbat, a great weekend. We'll see everybody next week.